UFC 309, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic will take place at Madison Square Garden this weekend, and I'm going to go through what I think are the best picks and props throughout this card. The card isn't as stacked as most of us would like it to be, but UFC China the following week will make it up for us fight fans. Last week's event, McGhee versus Prates, was a gift to us punters. I didn't go as hard as I wanted, but definitely a missed opportunity for value and easy plays. Here are my results on screen. I went 9 from 11 in picks, 8 fights I called the prop correctly, 3 fights I called around, 1 fight I called the exact way of knockout. Now, on to 309. I'll be honest, there won't be much analysis from my end in each individual fight unless I think it's important enough to be said that will affect the fight/odds. There's plenty of other content creators out there that analyse fights much better, but sometimes they go off on a tangent, which ultimately may not be a factor in any of the fights. I'm going to look at the betting perspective and realistically how I can make money off the fights. I'm hoping to make a video each week, and part of those videos I'll be utilising $100 to place some value bets and multis. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you wish to follow the bets, feel free to. Remember to only bet what you're willing to lose. If you want all my bets, feel free to join the MMA Degenerate Discord. The link will be in the description below. Let's punt. Okay, first fight of the night, Veronica versus Eduarda Moura. Both fighters are battle tested, can go 3 rounds. When you look into the odds here, Veronica is obviously the favourite, with Eduarda Moura being a $2.21 underdog. Now, the fight can go 3 rounds. I expect it to go 3 rounds, but Moura does have some finishing upside. So, whereas Hardy has a bit of, good IQ, she's battle tested, she usually fights to a 3-round decision. Moura can go out there and try to get the finish, and I think she probably would want to get the finish. In the end, it's 50-50 in my opinion, and the odds suggest kind of the same. So it's better to probably watch this fight, but if I'll be picking Hardy by decision or Eduarda Moura inside the distance. So if you want to make a bit of value, I think the Eduarda Moura by KO or submission is on, or if you want better value, you can go for the KO itself. Bassil, Hafez versus Oban, Elliott. Oban, the Welsh gangster, versus the Habibi. Bassil, $2.98 underdog. I mean, it's not a bad hit, but I think Oban Elliott gets this by decision. I'm pretty sure he gets this done. I'm pretty confident on this. I believe that he gets it done. So if you want Oban Elliott by points, $1.92, can take it, put it into your multis. I don't think you can get the finish over Bassil Hafez here. Bassil's kind of hard to finish. He fought JDM on roids on short notice, and JDM couldn't finish him then. And then JDM is a known finisher, so we move on to the next fight. Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. This is interesting because Bassil did beat Mickey in his last fight. Didn't look the greatest, but I don't understand why this fight's placed above the Bassil and Oban Elliott fight. But Rami is also not the greatest fighter either. Kind of a nothing burger in this fight. It's meant to be a layup for Ramiz, but given his skill set, he can go out there and find a submission. He's a well-known grappler and submission artist. However, Mickey, well versed into the game. I think he started off maybe as the underdog, but I think as we come closer to the fight, I think he's kind of travelled into a favourite. So my pick is, it's also 50-50 here. You kind of want to take maybe Ramiz as part of your multi. I think Mickey might be done for the sport, but either or, Ramiz hasn't been impressive as of lately. So unless both dudes have made massive improvements to their game, it's a 50-50 fight. I'd suggest the same too. But you can take Ramiz by submission for a bit of value, or you can probably take the Ramiz Ramiz submission or points. So yeah, a lot of people are actually picking Gall for this fight. I think Ramiz wins, but 50-50. It's just a lean. Next fight we have, I'm really excited for this one, is the Marcin Tybura versus Jhonata Diniz fight. Now, I'm heavy on Jhonata. I think Jhonata will win this fight. I think he can also find the KO on Marcin. Marcin is going to go out there, going to want to grapple, just like his last few opponents in Tai Tuivasa. He did get done by Sergey Spivak, but Jhonata has better grappling defense and better wrestling defense than Tai Tuivasas of the world, and I think he's more active on the floor to try to get up. He's also a Brazilian as well, so it should be in his blood to defend a grapple. But I believe that he can get the KO here. 265 odds. You want to take that. I think it's a bit of a gift. And in retrospect, when you look back at the fight, when it does happen, you're going to be like, wow, I should have taken the KO here. You can hedge if you want to. You can put Marcin Tybura by submission, but I think, it's kind of you really want the KO instead of submission. So I believe, Jhonata Diniz gets it done. If you want a bit more value, you can go Jhonata Diniz by round 1 or 2, because I think he's going to go out there and put the pace on him. And Marcin did get hurt briefly in the Tai Tuivasa fight, and that's why Marcin went and grappled him. So, you know, he can be hit. And just remember, Diniz was meant to fight Derek Lewis the other day, but Derek Lewis pulled out for undisclosed reasons. I'm not sure, but Derek has been known to do that. So yeah, Diniz will be more battle ready for Tybura. Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. I think Jim Miller is done. Like, sad to say, I don't think he'll make it to UFC 400. But I don't like Damon much either. I think I've faded Damon in the past a few times before, but he's also looked okay in some areas of the fight. But he should get the job done. He should get the job done. Does he finish him? I'm not 100% sure. He can win on points. But Jim Miller faded a little bit in that Bobby Green fight. Bobby Green did put the pace on him. Damon Jackson, in no shape or form, has better striking than Bobby Green, but he does have better grappling. And so Damon can find a submission here, even though Jim Miller's great on the ground and whatnot in the grappling department. But I think the leech, the Damon Jackson, can suffocate him here. I think he takes him on. Chris Weidman versus Eryk Anders. Also another 50-50 fight. I think this should be a fun fight if Chris Weidman can keep his hands closed and not eye poke the shit out of Eryk Anders. Eryk, I believe, has been in a couple of grappling matches recently as well. Not much to analyse here. Both of kind of old timers. But I think Eryk Anders should have the edge here. I favour him to get it done. He is the favourite. There's a good odds for a favourite, $1.83. And I think he wins by points. I think he wins by decision. I don't know if he's able to finish Chris Weidman here, unless Chris Weidman pops out a knee or gets injured during the fight. I believe Eryk Anders can get it by decision. It'd probably be a 28-29 decision either way. What's decision paying? Probably $1. Okay, $1.56. I mean, you can put this in your multis, $1.56. If you want to be on the safer side to put into a multi, you can have the fight to start round 3. Yes. Which you might want to take. So, yeah, my pick's Eryk Anders either way. I think a lot of people are picking Chris Weidman. That's fair enough. It is a fitty, but yeah. We move on. Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGhee. Every time I see Marcus McGhee, I just think of JaVale McGee. So I'm going with Marcus McGhee here. Jonathan got pumped badly by Aldo. He has now another competitive fight in Marcus McGhee. McGhee has been a fighter on my watch list. Very entertaining fighter. His nickname is the Maniac. He fights like a maniac. He looks like a maniac. And he's a bit of a predator in terms of, you know, he wants to hunt for the KO. He's always pushing forward. Jonathan Martinez, you know, it's still a good fight. I'm not knocking on him, but he did get exposed by Aldo and wasn't able to put the pace on him, given that he's a younger dude. So I think Marcus McGhee, 32. I think he's 32. How old is he? Doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure he's 32. He can put the pace on Jonathan Martinez. Martinez is probably be difficult to knock out, but I think Marcus McGhee will be patient enough and put the pace on enough to get the KO here. You know, I think it'll come into later rounds, whether round 2 or 3. But there's a bit of value there on $5.70 there if you want to take that. But I believe that I'll be playing this this market of KO here, or even just put Marcus McGhee head-to-head in my multis or parlays, however you want to call it. So, yeah, short and sweet for that one. All right, we've got Mauricio Ruffy versus James Goku Llontop. Ruffy's good. He's pretty good. You know, like he showed out against Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie Mullarkey, not the best fighter, but Jamie Mullarkey has been battle tested against other fighters. But I think Ruffy is just on a whole nother different level against James Llontop. James Llontop just hasn't had much success since he come out of the Contender Series. You know, I think the odds are pretty crazy though, given it's an MMA fight. You know, so you kind of have to look for some value whether you want Ruffy by KO, $1.72, or just Ruffy by points. James is kind of hard to finish. You kind of have to grapple with him and get the sub like Chris Padilla did in his last fight. But Mauricio Ruffy does have power in his hand, also coming out of a good gym with his mate, Mr. Prates, winning by first round KO against Neil Magny. They've probably been trained together in the same camp. So you can have Ruffy by inside the distance at you know, KO submission $1.54. No, I wouldn't take that. I don't think he gets a sub on Llontop, but I think Llontop is live for a sub. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the odds I want to take. Yeah. KO is probably the best odds you're going to find here. If you want to find a bit more value, then I guess you could find the KO in round 1 or 2. 1 or you can go 2 and 3 if you think James Llontop can survive the first round. You can go 2 or 3, which might be actually the play here. I think that's what I'll take, 2 or 3. I think James is good enough to survive 1 round at least with Ruffy. But it's pretty wild when you think about Ruffy being $1.11 favourite. Let's see if you can find a safer one where you can go either fighter. Yeah, so you can find. Ooh. Yeah, there's no odds for either fighter to win in round 2 or 3. So you can go round 3 or by decision. It's a bit. How you going? You'd be clenching your butthole during round 2. Yeah, nah. I'll just take the round. I think I'll just take inside the distance or Mauricio Ruffy to win by round 2 or 3. So that's KO. Tough. The value is hard to find in this fight, but I think there's something there. Moving on to Viviane Araujo versus Karine Silva. This is on the main card as well. So Karine is a very good flyweight. She has a lot of finishing upside. She can sub, KOing not so much. She's very battle tested. Viv is good, but not that good these days. She has faced very good competition, but she hasn't impressed as of late. I think Karine can get it done here. You can find value in Karine, perhaps the double chance of by KO or submission. I think Karine can put the pace on her. Viviane can survive, but I think Karine. I think the odds are right here, $1.35. I think she's going to put the pace on Viviane. So, but yeah, that's the only thing I can really find for you guys. So, yeah, you might want to leave her out of the multis though. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. At the UFC conference, he made it clear that he wants to win by submission. He made it very, very clear that he's going to put up a triangle and hold on for dear life. He's pretty much given the blueprint to Bo Nickel of what he wants to do. So at $12.50 odds, it might be worth $5. But I think that the path to victory for Bo Nickel here is going to be wrestling ground and pound for him. I think he'll probably clip him on the feet. I think he can find Paul Craig's chin and he's going to lay into him. He's not going to probably want to engage into the submission, but you never know. He might club and sub. He might put him on the ground, clip him, grab his back, and rear naked him. That's definitely can happen. But I think I don't know if he wants to go to the ground and play that game with Paul Craig. As long as Paul Craig is on the ground active, you give him a chance to grapple and throw up a submission. So Bo Nickel by KO here. I think, given that Paul Craig's chin is not that good these days, I think he can survive 1 round against Bo Nickel. So you can find value, I think, in Bo Nickel to win in round KO 2 or 3. There's one bet that I did last time when Bo Nickel fought against Cody Brundage. I just needed Bo Nickel to win in round 2 or 3. And I believe back then Cody Brundage was good enough to survive 1 round. I believe Paul Craig, given his chin issues, can survive 1 round against Bo Nickel. So rounds 2 or 3, yeah. If you want to be on the safe side, you can go round markets and look for round 2 to start, the 82 odds, but you'd be clenching your butthole for 2 rounds, which I probably will be. So yeah, that's the only value I can really find there. Bo has been improving. $1.07 odds, crazy for MMA. You only find value obviously in the props and the rounds, I think. So moving on, we will go to Charles Du Bronx Oliveira versus Iron Mike Chandler. Good fight. This is going to be a very, very good fight. I think both guys are going to be out there looking for the finish. I don't think this is going to go to the decision. $6.50 odds is juicy, but when you think with a clear mind, I believe Du Bronx Charles Oliveira is going to win this fight. I think Chandler is good enough to last the first 1 or 2 rounds. Chandler is not that good on the feet. I believe Charles Oliveira is better on the feet, but his chin is still suspect. He can get clipped. Michael Chandler throws from the back of his head to throw looping hooks and punches. He probably can hurt Charles Oliveira in this fight, but Charles Oliveira is too battle-tested, too smart for Michael Chandler. And Michael Chandler fights with emotion rather than IQ. So I think if he was to get hurt or if he feels a bit of adversity, he's just going to try win those punches back so that he does get clipped by Charles Oliveira. So I think Charles Oliveira plays a smart game here, probably tries to grapple a bit, try to grip the back, But it would be smart for Charles to wear out Michael Chandler in terms of, you know, wearing out his gas tank, deplete him a little bit, and then put the pace on him in the later kind of stages. So later stages being like round 2 or 3, I think. So I know this is a 5-round fight, but the value that you could find here is Charles Oliveira by sub KO. Double chance, $1.46. Oh, I don't think that's not much value, is it? You can probably go Charles Oliveira by KO again. You know, KO's in twice as well. Charles does believe his hands are strong, and he's put Michael Chandler down before. So what stops him from doing it again? I'm not sure. He did look kind of soft though in the photo shoots. Whether that's lighting or not, that's Charles Oliveira. Michael Chandler obviously looked very ripped. So I don't know if that's dad bod stuff. I'm not sure, but you know, you can't count Charles Oliveira out of the fight as long as he's breathing. He'll look to continue to fight for his life. So yeah, Charles Oliveira by sub KO is the only thing I can think of right now. Moving on, Jon Bones Jones versus Stipe. Doesn't have a nickname, Miocic. Jon Jones, $1.15. Stipe Miocic, $5.50. Tough to pick Stipe here. You know, I think Jon Jones gets this done by KO/TKO. I think he grounds and pounds Stipe to win here. And the ref's going to be up there to stop him. 12 to 6 elbows are going to come into play, 100%. And he's going to open up Stipe and just continue to lay on him and smash him with elbows. He's mentioned that, I think, in the embedded, where he's like, oh, you know, he got pretty affected by what Stipe had said about, you know, talking about his children and whatnot, calling me a bitch. But he did mention his path to victory, which was wrestling and ground and pounding. So he is live for submission here. He has been training with, what's his name, Gordon Ryan. But I think the KO, $2.35 is pretty good here. In saying that, I don't think he KOs him on the feet. I think he KOs him on the ground. Jon Jones, I don't think it was going to look as good as he did back in the days on the feet. I think Stipe will look much better, or Stipe will look much better on the feet. So Jon Jones will probably have to grapple and try to get position and then rain down elbows. What round does he get it in? Probably round 1 or 2. I don't think Jon Jones's cardio is good enough to last 5 rounds. Stipe can play that game and just wait it out a bit. And if Stipe wins, credit to him, mate. You've got to give Stipe the GOAT status over Jon Jones, regardless of whatever accolades Stipe doesn't have over Jon Jones. He gets all that. He gets all of that. There is one fight that's not on the on the bookies at the moment. I'm gonna have to check Bet365 to see if it's there. Yeah, it's on. So it's on FightOdds.io. We've got David Onama here at -900 versus Roberto Romero +600. If you do that to Aussie odds, it's $1.11 for David Onama versus Roberto Romero. Look, I believe David Onama wins this. I reckon he wins this inside the distance, sub KO, whatever he wants to do. His original fight was meant to be against Lucas Almeida, but a new fighter appears in Roberto Romero. He answers the call, very short notice. I watched Roberto's tape. He doesn't impress me. He's, you know, David Onama should clean him up. Romero's like fighting style, a little bit of boxing here, mainly kind of clinching, grappling against the fence. There is danger, however. David Onama's cardio hasn't been the best, but he did go 5 rounds with JSP in his last fight, and he did showcase that his wrestling / grappling defense has much improved. He was pretty much just spinning out of exchanges. But I think Romero's got an interesting nickname. It's El Charro Negro, which is like a black cowboy or black Mexican horseman or something. So that'd be interesting when Bruce Buffer calls that out. But yeah, I'll take David Onama inside the distance. Head-to-head is interesting at $1.11 odds. I think he gets this done early. David Onama probably going to throw an uppercut from hell to clean him up. So yeah, here's a summary of my early prelim picks, props, and confidence. First fight, Veronica Hardy 50-50 by decision. Moura inside the distance, low confidence. Oban Elliott by decision, high. 50-50 on the Ramiz and Mickey Gall fight. I've got Ramiz by sub / Mickey Gall by decision. Jhonata Diniz by KO, round 1 or 2, moderate. So moving on to the prelims, David Onama by inside the distance, round 1 or 2. Damon Jackson by sub or decision. Eryk Anders by decision. Marcus McGhee by KO, round 2 or 3. Mauricio Ruffy inside the distance, 2 or 3, high. Karine Silva by sub, round 1 or decision. That's an interesting one. Bo Nickel by KO round 2 or 3. Charles Oliveira inside the distance round 2 or 3. And John Bones Jones inside the distance round 1 or 2. We're going to move on to the value head-to-head multi / parlay. So, Oban Elliott, $1.40, Damon Jackson, $1.59, Mauricio Ruffy, $1.11, Marcus McGhee, $1.71, Bo Nickel, $1.07, and John Jones, $1.15. Now, so you can do a split multi where you add all the legs, but you remove John Jones and put in Stipe as the last leg. So this is kind of a hedge multi when you think about it. I've had lots of success with this where I feel like the main event can go either way. This is less than likely to go either way, but you always got to cover yourself. Always. So, $10 pays $51.99. Decent odds. Moving on. The value prop multi-parlay. I've got Oban Elliott to win by decision at $1.92. Karine Silva to win by decision. $2.20. And Jhonata Diniz by KO. $10 pays $107.71. Now you can remove Karine Silva to win by decision and go sub/decision, but that's up to you. Now this is the chalk multi-parlay. Basically what this means is a ladder of multiple odds that add up to plus odds. So, Hardy Moura fight to start round 2, yes, $1.14. The Hafez and Elliott fight to start round 2, yes, $1.14. Miller Jackson fight to start round 2, yes, $1.25. The Viviane and Silva fight to start round 2, yes, $1.14. Oliveira Chandler fight to start round 5, no. Jones and Miocic fight to start round 5, no. If you put $10 in this, it gives you $27.65. Not bad odds. Just remember to always hedge. If it's on your last leg, find a way to hedge it. For example, Oliveira Chandler fight to start round 2. I'll be going fight to start round 3. Yes, just as a hedge. If it gets past that next part, Jones and Miocic fight to start round 5. No, I'll pick yes to hedge if it ever comes down to that. All right, so this is the first multi that I had explained before. I'm going to go to the value prop parlay now. So I've pretty much got Elliott by points, Diniz by KO, Karine by points. That odds. So $15 pays $191, which is pretty good. All right, the chalk parlay's in. $50. Now I've got $10 to spare. So I'm going to choose my most confident picks of the fight. I'm going to pick Oban Elliott. Oh, Ramiz, no, probably not. Jhonata Diniz, Damon, Eryk Anders, Marcus McGhee, Mauricio Ruffy, Karine Silva, Bo Nickel, Charles Oliveira, and John Bones Jones. That all pays $20.76. Do I want to be greedy and pick the whole card? You know what? I'm going to pick the whole card. Oh, maybe I'll leave the first fight out of it. I'll put Ramiz there. Oh, no, I'll leave Ramiz out. It's going to be between these two then. Eryk Anders. All right, I'll pick Eryk Anders in there for a 10-leg multi. It's going to pay $57.55. That's going to be my long shot. I'm going to boost it to $69. Nice. And put $10 on it, which will give me $697.39 off $10. If you follow this, good luck. But I'm going to place a bet right now, and the bet has now been placed. So I'm still waiting for them to pay me for Donald Trump here. I put money on Donald Trump to win the election, and it still hasn't paid me. I'm waiting for my $712 and also my $260. I don't think he won the popular vote by 51%, but yeah. I hope that comes through. I think it'll probably come through next year, probably in January, when he actually gets into office and Sportsnet realise, oh shit, he's actually been elected now as a president. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you got this far, feel free to subscribe and like the video. Comment below if you want to see me do next week for Peter Yan and Davidson Figueiredo. Hopefully you make some money, and if you do, let me know. And feel free to join the Discord in the description below. That's where I post all my bets. We've got a few people in there that we all share our opinions on fights. And yeah, it's a bit of a good time. So good luck on the punt. Bet responsibly.